Encounter Right Line are Bushiroad's way to reintroduce some of the OG units that fans actually love back into the standard format by essentially just, pick a Vanguard, put some of his sidekick in as a support and a right line, and just call it a day. And there is one particular clan that a lot of Vanguard's fans has been begging the Bushiroad to actually go through with the encounter treatment, and that is of course Dimension Police, especially with Dimension Robo, cause these are some of the most iconic unit in the Vanguard. And today we are not talking about them. NANI? We are talking about a Ridicule Monasterio deck that actually stole this particular clan mechanics and mix around with some of the other clan mechanics, and then we get LèVre SœurS. I apologize if I pronounce it wrongly. LèVre SœurS is definitely a very interesting deck because if you're just using a base support that you can get from the LVDBTO4, which is the booster it debuted, it is actually pretty meh deck. Until you included one very old card into the deck changes everything. And today I'm gonna be talking about what does LèVre SœurS as an archetype do, and what is that one golden card that actually unlock the deck full potential. LèVre SœurS essentially has two main goals to achieve, and both has to be achieved at the same time, otherwise the deck doesn't seem to perform as well compared to the other deck that do have some leeway. And the first one is of course having a Vanguard at a certain power level to unlock different skill, and that's why I mentioned Dimension Police earlier. And secondly, it would be great if your field has a certain amount of rearguard with LèVre SœurS in its name that are different name and grade 2 or less. And this is where I have to mention a very first critic I have to say when I first see the cards, and this is because by the time I recorded this video, there is currently only 3 confirmed viable target of LèVre SœurS rearguard in the whole deck, and those are part of the right lines. Yes, they have so little LèVre SœurS rearguard that we have to stretch very thin and include the starter. But this is one of those cases where you can't judge the book by its cover, as fortunately enough the deck has enough card to actually either search for the card that you need to unlock the combo, or the Vanguard itself already provided enough job for the skill, as Shaman the Vanguard does call 2 additional rearguard from your soul that has LèVre SœurS in its name, and that's how you getting a grade 0 onto the rearguard circle as well. And the most important card in my opinion is also Aurea List, and it does help you to search for LèVre SœurS card while still making sure that even if you are against a retired deck, you will always have at least a certain amount of LèVre SœurS rearguard on the field, especially to fulfill that last one slot that you may not have from Shaman's skill. Moving on to the power increase aspect of this deck, fortunately enough for this deck, there is a few cards that already do the job and does provide certain different benefits from it. Olaris give you a soul and a power boost, Kobe give you a draw and a power boost if you hit certain power level, and Ramona give you a power boost, a draw, and a soul, which is actually really good. But all of them kind of share one common theme that I feel is a little bit iffy if you're considering just simply LèVre SœurS main support, and that is that you require a lot of resource to get to a certain power level, which minimum is 33k, which is not easy, especially all of these cards included Shaman only increase the power of Vanguard for 5k only. But fortunately enough, there is one particular card I mentioned earlier that actually fixes every single problem that I mentioned earlier with the high hand commitment, and that is LèVre SœurS. LèVre SœurS has an ability to increase any unit on the field by 10k when she's placed on rearguard circle. This just fixes all the issue that Shaman as a deck has, as it allows you to get to full power even on turn 3, which is a turn where it sounds a lot of work to put into to get to 33k for the Vanguard power level. And what is the reward you get from those power level, you ask? Well, it kind of vary, but all of them kind of flow into one nice well oiled machine, as Shaman herself give all the LèVre SœurS rearguard that I mentioned earlier the power of herself as long as she's attack unboosted. And on top of that, you can enable your back row center rearguard to attack with a drive check, which is insane and might have been why they have to restrict it to grade 2 or less so that they don't get additional twin drive. And secondly, those LèVre SœurS rearguard I mentioned earlier also gain a very powerful effect, with grade 1 allow you to put 2 LèVre SœurS with different name from the field into soul, included herself to get a free draw, and also ensure that Shaman will always have a bullet for her skill, while the grade 2 give you additional counter shard and or soul charge to fulfill the resource that you are missing at that moment. Because of all this consistent resource providing, this makes the deck extremely scary in terms of power, as the deck can pull off the combo every turn while still hitting for upwards of 50 to 60k power level. So, is the deck actually meta worthy, or at least is it a super competitive deck due to how strong the deck is? Well, personally for me, it is, but it does have a few big holes that it has to hit both conditions consistently. Otherwise, the deck just doesn't perform. And that is all I have for today. In conclusion, I do feel that LèVre SœurS is a very interesting deck to play. And if you are looking for something that has a bit of a fun gimmick to play that is effective enough to be a meta-worthy contender, I do recommend this deck. But what do you guys think? Do leave down in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Take care of yourself. And this is McMegane signing out.